Welcome, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everybody had a good day. It was a very, very eventful day, to say the least. I'm sure a lot of you, I just saw someone here comment saying that they've been in and out of live streams all day. Like everyone has gone live today about Barry Morphew and about Josh Dooooogar. That's what I'm calling him. I don't give a shit how you pronounce his name, dude. That's what I'm calling him. That's what I'm calling him. His name's Dooooogar. Fuck that guy. Anyway. Oh, shit. I just cost myself monetization. Damn it. Oh, well. Whatever. Listen. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, okay? It's been a full day, okay? Cracked open a bottle of oak leaf. I earned it, okay? So I just got off work. I just opened it, and if I get sloppy, that's my disclaimer. If I get sloppy, all right, I might get sloppy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. So anyway, every time I'm about to say something, I don't even know where to start because there's so many people that have gone live today. It's been so look, and you didn't even have to join Patreon to see me get possibly sloppy. How about that? But listen, I'm having a drink for everyone who can't. Okay, this is I know since Annie is in delicate condition, I'm sure she envies the idea of having a glass of wine right now because Lord knows she earned it. She went live twice today. Annie went live twice today, right? As soon as she wraps up her Barry Morphew update, then then all of a sudden we find out that homeboy Dooooogar gets out on bail, right? And so and I'm not happy about it. I'm just laughing because, dude, if I don't laugh right now, I'm gonna get mad, and I don't want to get mad. I don't want to get mad. Okay, all right. It's been too stressful, too long of a day. All right. It's been too stressful, too long of a day, and I just want to relax, and I want to try to, you got all the live streams on YouTube. All the live streamers on YouTube have been talking about this stuff. Stupid camera. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if because I don't want to keep, I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep dealing with this. Jeremy M. Thank you, sir. And then we are going to get into this, I promise. Give me just 1 second. All right. Let's see how long this lasts. Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, this is for you, Annie. You poor thing. Oh man. Oh man. But you know what, man? It's always a pleasure to moderate Annie's chats because there's like almost never any trolls. Like I had to time out someone who was of a familiar name. I had to time her out today. And you know, that was just, and I don't even think she was trying to be malicious. That is funny. Sorry. I have to highlight that comment too. Annie's been telling me that she hates me for 2 days. So Annie gets the worst of my trolling. I never troll her chats, but I always troll her via text. And I have so much fun doing it. She makes it very easy. So yeah, but yeah, this is definitely for Annie. Cheers. But yeah, I don't even think that person was trying to be like starting nothing. Just, started talking about, did you hear about this creator doing this to this creator? And I was just like, yeah, we're not doing that right now. Sorry, you gotta go. And you know better. But let's see what Caleb says. Caleb says, Dooooogar is a product of his own ultra-religious upbringing family life. They churn out sexually repressed people and then explode onto society. That's quite an observation. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the article that Annie sent me, actually, because it seems to have a lot. And I know oh man, this is just fun all around, because it's from a news source that is a favorite of the Johnny Depp community. Our favorite son, the son. This is Cherry K's favorite news source right here. But the problem is it's very thorough and there's a lot of information. So I'm going to read it and then try not to get angry as I read it. And hopefully you guys don't get too angry as I read it to you. And I'm sure my camera will die out or click off as I'm reading it. So apologies for that right off the bat. And then after we go over this Dooooogar dickhead, then we're going to go over the Barry Morphew press conference, which Annie already went over, but I have some opinions on that. Not on Annie's live, but on the press conference. And so this dude's face, bro. I'm not even gonna show this guy's face, because like this article, for some reason on this website, it's real big. Like this dude's face takes up my whole screen, dude. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. I'm just not gonna do that to you guys. God, there's so many pictures and it's hard to even, like, the way this article is formatted. It says here, Josh Dooooogar is to be released from jail after he was accused of possessing 65 child P images and one video of minors, including a toddler. All right, I'm already pissed off. At this detention court hearing, Josh, 33, appeared via Zoom from Washington County Jail in Arkansas for the detention court hearing on Wednesday, as he appeared to be in good spirits. I believe this motherfucker. A judge said Josh will be released from prison tomorrow with conditions, including restricted travel, as he cannot leave Benton, Washington, and Madison counties in Arkansas without permission from the court. Oh. Josh has unlimited access to his 6 children with wife Anna present. So this guy still gets to hang out with his kids, which I feel, and I don't think I'm alone here, are the very people that are, of, if anybody, the most direct people, those people in the most direct danger of this person. So that blows my mind. So yeah, he's not allowed to be around minor children, including his siblings, nieces, and nephews, but he could be around his 6 kids. That's okay. Not his nieces, siblings, and nephews, but his 6 kids. The judge said of her decision, the court views these charges as very serious. It is a concern to have an agent testify that the file download found on a computer is some of the worst child abuse P in 1,000 cases that concerns the court. Well, yeah. I would be shocked if this did not concern the court. The victims of your crime, if you committed it, she makes it clear, if, because, innocent until proven guilty, blah, blah, blah. The victims of your crime, if you committed it, concern the court, she said. Children are involuntary victims of P. They're subject to human trafficking. This weights against your release into the community. God, they just keep blasting. Like, I'm glad I'm not sharing like the screen, because like it just keeps blasting these huge pictures of this disgusting dude. She said that the molestation scandal that was made public concerns her because of the age of the victims and the children in the P. The judge added, I am concerned images and ages are very close to the ages of your children and nephews and nieces and siblings' children. I don't know if you're a danger. Special Agent Gerald Faulkner from Homeland Security was the first to take the stand at the hearing as he was questioned by the prosecutor. He said in May of 2019, an Arkansas police officer identified a computer participating in the known sharing of photos and videos of child P. He claimed Josh had one 2-minute video on his computer of 2 underage females and a male who performed sex acts on the children. Also found were 65 images of a female consistent with child P. I mean, that's not like he had one little thing, man. It's not like he had this one little piece of footage, that he like, oops, clicked on. You know what I'm saying? This is one 2-minute video of 2 underage females and a male who performed these acts on children. So the underage females and male who are also victims, but they were the ones victimizing children in this video. And then 65 different images of a female, one particular female, consistent with what could consider child P. The agent said October 2019, the IP address was assigned to a Joshua Dooooogar with an address in Springdale, Arkansas. The HP desktop computer from the car lot, a MacBook laptop, and an RV Josh arrived in, and Josh's cell phone were confiscated by authorities. Though Josh was not informed of the reason for the investigation, he asked authorities if someone downloaded child P onto his computer. Thank you again, Jeremy M. I appreciate it. Josh admitted he had a TOR browser on his computer, which gives him access to the dark web anonymously. The agent explained how the child P could be found on the dark web. Well, yeah. Let me tell you something, man. I don't have no damn TOR browser on my computer. And I'm not interested in the dark web. I'm not interested in anything on the dark web. I'm not even curious about what's on the dark web. I got an idea of what's on the dark web, and none of it interests me. I think that's most people. The agent then said how he asked Josh about the images of minors 5 to 10 years old. He responded, I'd rather not answer that question. The password of one of the programs used to obtain the images was the last 4 digits of Mr. Dooooogar's birth year. The same password was used for Josh's bank accounts, websites, and more. Josh used one of the programs to view porn, including rape and child P, according to the agent. The agent mentioned how downloads from a specific file were made. The agent said the file is in the top 5 worst I have ever had to examine, as the specific file has been known to include children as young as 18 months old. The agent did not say if Josh downloaded the photos involving an 18-month-old. The agent said friends and family confirmed Josh had a pee addiction. But the agent said there's no evidence Josh was the person who downloaded the TOR. Now that's, yeah, I mean, but I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, because whether or not he downloaded the TOR or not means nothing to me, because he still used it. He still kept it on his computer. He admitted that he was aware that this particular browser allowed him access to the dark web. So I don't want to hear that. The agent confirmed Josh and Anna drove themselves to the sheriff's office with the agents following them so their children wouldn't see him get arrested. Parole officer Diem Nguyen then took the stand as she mentioned the third party Josh will live with when released. A couple who have been friends of Jim Bob and Michelle Dooooogar for 5 to 6 years have agreed to allow Josh to live with them. The friend offers ministry to prisoners while his wife is a piano teacher. Oh, isn't that nice? Hey, come on. Hey, listen. You like touching kids? Well, come on over and I'll teach you some piano. Teach you how to tickle the ivories. What do you think? Ugh, gross, dude. The parole officer said the wife of the friend had reservations of Josh living with her family. You think? Deem explained her concern was she was a woman and Josh was a man, and that she felt she didn't know how she felt about being alone with him for a long period of time. Well, gee, I don't know. You know? Listen, lady, if you're over 18, you're not this dude's type, so you're good. Calm down. Relax. The offer then explained how minors come in and out of the home for piano lessons, but that they are always supervised by an adult. The family also owns firearms, which caused concern for the judge. Well, yeah, of course, because we don't want this dude getting Epsteined, no matter which way you want to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Whether you believe Epstein did himself in, or whether you believe that somebody did Epstein in. So I don't want this dude getting Epsteined, because I want him to face what due process has in store for him. And hopefully, if there are other people involved, people bigger than him, then this will lead to throwing a net out and getting bigger fish here. So Josh would stay in an add-on bedroom in the home. The internet is password protected. So this guy can't even, I wonder if he's going to sweet talk his way into getting on Wi-Fi. Hey, I'm just trying to watch a little Sons of Anarchy on Hulu, man. I don't know why that show came to my head. I don't even like that show. But yeah, I don't feel like that's going to stop him. The parole officer said, unless they somehow unless there's a threat that they'll get charged for him obtaining the password and going on their internet. So hopefully there's some sort of stipulation there that holds the password holders accountable in some way, shape, or form. The parole officer said based on his job and he's a pastor, volunteers, they could be suitable third-party custodians. However, the minors coming into the home and the pistols caused the probation office some concern. She requested he not be released. So at least the parole officer's like, I don't think it's a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, at least the parole officer's not sitting in front of the judge going, I think it'll be all right. So when Josh's lawyer spoke, he said they would provide a suitable residence. She agreed, however, to remove the firearms from the home and not have the lessons there as well. The prosecutor then gave her closing argument as she said, some of those images and videos contained minors under the age of 12 and as young as toddler. The child P was found on the office of Mr. Dugan's business. A partition was downloaded, another hiding way to obtain the child P. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what this guy thinks he's going to get away with here. The links he went through to conceal his activity. He was doing it at his business by a partition that is supposed to alert his wife, Anna Dooooogar, if he is looking at things he's not supposed to. He's looking at the dark web. So this indicates that he is hiding this stuff from his wife. So for those of you that are throwing a lot of mud at his wife right now, I'm not ready to start doing that just yet. I'm just not ready for that. There's a lot of people that have been following this case. I had a few people on my panel when I talked about this yesterday, and they were very, very adamant, actually, that this woman is clueless as to his behavior. Now, the question remains in my mind whether or not she's still accountable, even though she was ignorant to the whole thing. So I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not ready to start throwing judgment at this lady just yet. The special agent said that he's been doing these cases for years and it's the worst he's ever seen. Those are types of images and videos Josh Dooooogar was looking at. And okay, so on one hand, you could look at it like, wow, you know, an FBI agent saying that this is the worst he's ever seen. Now, even though this is a federal agent, you got to also understand that these federal agents have local offices all over the country. And he could just be, for the most part, that agent could very well be restricted to that particular area in Arkansas. Who knows? There's probably not a whole lot of that stuff that goes on there. So that's probably why he may have never seen something quite as bad. So how bad this guy has seen things is subjective. But considering what they're describing here, I'd say it's pretty safe to say that this guy has probably seen some horrible things, and this may very well be some of the worst he's ever seen. So I don't want that downplayed at all here. If we're talking about toddlers here, I mean, it makes me sick that this is even a thing. The password was a password he used for years for his personal accounts. He is the person behind downloading the child pornography. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that, but I just did. Sorry. He admitted he was familiar with programming and referenced the TOR browser. We know the child P involves the SA of toddlers and young children. He has a history dating back 20 years that shows his attraction to children and the deviousness of his activity. Josh's lawyer said in his closing argument, Mr. Dooooogar is not a risk of flight. Of course, he said that. The case has been investigated for 2 years since May 2019. Homeland Security executed a search warrant in November 2019. Mr. Dooooogar has not fled or left the jurisdiction. He voluntarily surrendered. When a defendant voluntarily surrenders, that's a clear indication he is committed to these charges head on. Well, you know, that's real fantastic and everything, homie. But the problem with that is there's all kinds of speculative theories that I could dance around and play with here, because you know, the fact is, when you've got a private attorney, you're paying that private attorney a lot of money. And when you're paying a private attorney a lot of money, well, what you're paying him for is to give you advice, legal advice. And you're flushing your money down the drain if you're not doing exactly what that attorney is telling you to do. That's just my opinion. So I'm guessing this guy is saying, hey, get in front of this. You know, you're a public figure. You're in politics. You know, this is the best thing to do, is just get in front of this and fight it. Deny, deny, deny. Even though there's nothing here. I mean, what we're looking at right here, I mean, I don't see how he's going to get out of that. The court could impose restrictions. This is not a defendant who is going to flee. He is not a danger to the community. They could have arrested him at any point in the last 2 years. Ahead of the hearing, well, that's what his attorney is still saying. And ahead of the hearing, Josh filed court papers requesting to be released on bail. In the court papers obtained by the Sun, Josh's attorney, in the court papers obtained by the greatest news source ever on the planet, according to Cherry K, Josh's attorney argued he has no criminal convictions and has known about the federal criminal investigation since November 2019. Since then, Josh, his wife Anna, and their 6 children have continued to reside in the Western District of Arkansas, and he has allegedly maintained an open dialogue with the U.S. Attorney's Office in connection with this investigation. I want to hear that shit. An attorney for Josh then questioned the witness as he had him confirm they traced the images to the IP address and not a specific device. The court papers read, indeed, while child P crimes are unquestionably serious, the indictment certainly does not allege that Dooooogar personally interacted with a single child, and the government would be hard-pressed to identify how conditions of release set by this court would not protect the community from criminal misconduct. The request also notes his time on Family's reality show 19 Kids and Counting. I mean, like, did they really throw that in there, like, as if it's going to sweeten the judges? Oh, I had no idea. I mean, can you imagine that? Like, judge is reading all this stuff and then goes, oh, 19 Kids and Counting? I love that show. Well, then, let me make my decision based on that. Let that influence my decision here. I don't see that. The court papers read, Dooooogar has a widely recognizable face and has spent the majority of his life in the public spotlight, making any concern that he has a risk of flight all the more unwarranted. So this guy, so they're sitting there trying to convince the court that because he has a recognizable face, that's going to discourage this guy from trying to get on a plane and hit up Thailand and marry a 12-year-old. As he has demonstrated for the 17 months during which he has been aware of this investigation, there is no danger of Dooooogar fleeing. Josh's legal team also said he found a third-party custodian to live with, where there are no minor children of the residence. Court papers read, Dooooogar is requesting that the court permit him to return home to his immediate family during the pendency of this case. The residents of his home are his wife, who is pregnant, and their 6 children. Cherry K's most favorite news source of all time previously broke. Josh was arrested for the federal charges in Washington County last Thursday. The arrest is related to the 2009 Homeland Security raid on Josh's now closed used car dealership in Springdale, Arkansas. What a shocker. In November 2019, Homeland Security conducted an ongoing federal investigation to the lot. According to the indictment, Josh knowingly received child P between or about May 14th, 2009 and on or about May 16th, 2019. For the second count, Josh knowingly possessed material that contained images of child P, including images of minors under the age of 12. According to the Department of Justice, Josh allegedly used the internet to download child SA material. Dooooogar allegedly possessed this material, some of which depicts the essay of children under the age of 12 in May 2019. This guy is just a piece of work, man. If convicted, he could receive 20 years in prison with fines up to $250,000 for each count. Josh pled not guilty to the charges at his arraignment on Friday. If released, the judge said at the hearing that Josh must reside with a third party. She said at the hearing the court will likely require a third-party custodian that he could reside with that would ensure compliance with the conditions of his bond. It would need to be a residence where there are no minors in the home. You would need to look for somebody who can ensure to the court that there are no minors in the home or would not be visiting unsupervised. The Dooooogar family released a statement that read, "We appreciate your continued prayers for our family at this time. The accusations brought against Joshua today are very serious. It is our prayer that the truth, no matter what it is, will come to light, and this will be resolved in a timely manner. We love Josh and Anna and continue to pray for their family." I thought it was your family. Josh's wife, Anna, 32, announced that she is pregnant with the couple's 7th child a week before the arrest with a gender reveal video. The arrest comes after In Touch Weekly uncovered a 33-page Arkansas police report in 2015 claiming Jim Bob confessed that Jim Bob, being Josh's father, confessed to local authorities that his eldest son, quote, fondled the breasts and genitals of young girls while they were asleep in the Dooooogar family home back in 2006. Following the allegations against him, Josh addressed the claim. 12 years ago, as a young teenager, I acted inexcusably, for which I am extremely sorry and deeply regret. I hurt others, including my family and close friends. Josh was never charged with any crime related to the incidents. His younger sisters, Jill, 29, Jessa, 28, came forward as two of the victims in an interview with Megyn Kelly, where they insisted they had forgiven Josh for his sins. More allegations followed for Josh, as another report just 3 months later claimed the former TLC star was using adultery dating service Ashley Madison, which my panelists yesterday were kind enough to bring me up to speed on. He said, "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever. While espousing faith and family values, I have secretly, over the last several years, been viewing pornography on the internet, and this has become a secret addiction, and I became unfaithful to my wife." Soon after, porn star Danica Dillon, whose real name is Ashley Johnston, claimed he assaulted her during a sexual encounter. Josh has also denied the alleged assault. And yeah, so that brings us up to speed on Mr. Dugan. Dude's a sickie, bro. Dude's a sickie. Okay. Let me look at chat a little bit here, man. You know, Annie, not Annie 10 to Life, but this Annie, she says chemical castration. All right, now I'm going to ask the chat a question. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a serious question. Type of 1, if you believe that those who seem to have a taste for children in that manner. Type of 1 if you feel that they can be reformed and rehabilitated. Oh, thanks, Jeremy M. Appreciate it. And welcome. No, I haven't. I wasn't looking at chat. I was reading an article. I didn't realize that Save Robbie joined Patreon. I'm glad he did. That's awesome. Welcome, Save Robbie. I didn't even know Save Robbie was in chat. Type of one if you think someone with these type of accusations, if they're guilty of these type of accusations. Type of one if you feel they could be reformed or rehabilitated. Type of two if you think there's absolutely no hope, and if they are on the streets, they are a danger to children. Let's say anybody. Let's say somebody who is, let's say, and I don't think I can use this word, but let's say a rapist. Any type of person. Wow, there's a lot more twos. Yeah, okay. Yeah, nobody does. So I mean, why don't these people realize that they're actually, I mean, do they not care? Because I mean, think about it. I mean, all right, there's those who want to make it an orientation, like being gay or straight, right? They want to make their taste in kids be an orientation, which personally I find disgusting and I don't think it applies. How do they not realize that the reason why that's not okay is because they victimize and traumatize, that a child is not developed enough mentally or even physically to make these kind of decisions. They're not emotionally developed enough to handle what comes with the responsibilities of sex. They're just not. They're not developed in any way, shape, or form to be prepared for this. How do they not realize this? How do they not know that they're victimizing someone? Because some of these people, do you think? I mean, I believe that if you put them on I believe if you put them on a lie detector, they'd pass. If you ask them, do you believe that you're actually victimizing children, and they say no, they'd pass. And yes, there's a reason why we have legal ages of consent. Hold on a second. Let me see something. What's going on in chat here? Oh, yeah. Cherry K is pointing out the fact that Tug, that umbrella guy, actually has a history working with these predators. And I've actually spoken to Tug on panel before, not on my channel, and not on his either. But I've actually had very interesting conversations with him regarding his work in that field. And I do recall him saying that he does not believe that there is any type of reform for these people. And yes, if you're not subscribed to that umbrella guy, make sure you do, because he's fantastic. He's easily one of my favorite creators, not just because of YouTube, but the way he handles himself. He's a good, honest, and virtuous person. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to that umbrella guy. But I I'm not a professional. I don't have experience in dealing with these people in any way, shape, or form. But I don't believe that. What I do believe is that it is an orientation, but it is not something that should be recognized and acknowledged as something that is acceptable. I don't believe that. Um, I mean, I think that that's what they like. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing else does it for them. I do believe that, but I also believe, well, you got a shit deal. You know what I mean? If that's the case, you got handed a shit deal, and that's life. So you don't get to be sexually active. I'm sorry. You just don't, because unfortunately, your taste victimizes people, whether you like it or not. No matter what no matter how you try to justify your actions in your mind as far as how your feelings go or what type of person you are otherwise, no matter what good things you do in the community, no matter if what you're doing ruins lives, and make no mistake that what you do ruins lives. Make no mistake about that. If what you do ruins lives, then you shouldn't get to do it. So, yes, I will be as bold as to say that I do believe that chemical castration is definitely an option. Now, I need to know more about it, and I need to know more about the risks of it, because here's the thing. If there's somebody out there, and this might be a very controversial opinion, but if someone has this type of taste, if someone has these type of desires that they honestly can't help, because everyone in the chat agrees that they can't help it, they can't be reformed, they can't be cured, they can't, there's no getting around it, there's no fixing it, right? So if everybody in the chat believes that, well, what if somebody, this is where you got to dig deep for a certain empathy, because what if somebody actually does have this problem, realizes that their desires, acting on their desires, does in fact victimize people and ruin lives? Isn't it humane to go ahead and go through this procedure if it's safe, if it does simply what it's designed to do? Shouldn't that be allowed as an option for them? And if it should be allowed as an option for them, right? Because let's think about it like this. Let's think about it on these terms. Oh, you guys are going to fucking hate me for this, man. Type of 1, and you know where I'm going with this. Once I say this, you'll know where I'm going with this. Type of 1, if you think that this vaccine at some point, this vaccine for COVID at some point is going to become mandatory. Type of 2, if you think it's always going to be optional. There's more 1s than 2s. So either y'all are paranoid as hell, or you're more realistic than most people. I don't know where I'm at yet on that. But I will tell you this. If that COVID vaccine becomes mandatory, then you better believe that I'm going to demand that chemical castration become mandatory for rapists and chomos. You better believe that I'm going to demand it. Because why not? What's the reason? You know what I'm saying? At this point, what's the reason? What's the good excuse to not physically enable someone who is without a doubt going to offend at some point. Because the argument's going to be, well, why don't we just start cutting off the hands of thieves? Why don't we just start doing public hangings? Well, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, it's not the same thing. I mean, we're talking about theft versus lives ruined. We're talking about an epidemic. We're talking about something that in a psychological manner has proven to be on some level hereditary to a certain degree in many cases. Hey, Aaron, what's up? I mean, that's one way to look at it, Kangaroo, but it just doesn't work that way. We're not this is, that's going to set us back centuries. We can't do that. But this is different. This is completely different. And Danette makes a really, really interesting point here. Danette makes a fantastically interesting point here. She says offenders will still do it. They'll find another way. Now, I'm not going to disagree with that. Because it's not all about your genitalia, man. It's not. When you have the desire to victimize someone, because that's the question. That's what comes into question. Is someone aware of the fact that they are victimizing someone? Because when it comes to rape of women, we all know that it's not about sex. It's about violence and violence alone. It is an act of violence, nothing else. Sorry, I was laughing at Aaron's comment there. Right. Louisiana Girl, it is about power. But it is ultimately about violence. It is about overcoming this person with violence. Women get raped by men who hate women. That is a fact. Generally, in all fairness. Okay, so Cherry K is saying it doesn't work at all. See, that's interesting. See, I'd like to know. I'd love to hear Tug's opinion on this. Jeremy M, thanks again, man. Let's see. I'm severely compromised when it comes to my immune system. I was able to get my second dose last week and have had no side effects. I think the risk outweighs the rewards. Will love your channel. Well, I love you too, man. I appreciate you being part of the chat as consistently as you are. I'm not going to get into my opinion on this. And I'm going to be honest. The reason why I'm not going to get into an opinion on this, because my opinion, I don't think is valid. I don't think anybody's opinion on this vaccine is actually really valid, unless it comes to how the vaccine is regulated. That I think is valid. But unless you're an expert on vaccines and pandemics and those sort of things, well, then I don't think that anybody has a right to really dictate what the right thing to do is as far as this vaccine goes. And I'm not going to get into that too deep but that's the thing, is that we're not qualified to do that. Unless you're an expert in these fields, then you're not qualified to do it, which honestly makes me feel that much more a little bit uneasy about the vaccine. Again, I don't know anything about it, because here's the thing, and I'm not going to get into a big rant about COVID right now, but the thing is you see Dr. Fauci on TV, uh, and he's freaking out, going, I don't understand, because like I'm in Tennessee, and I'm in an area of Tennessee where at one point we had the biggest spike out of everybody. Right now, it's virtually gone, and this and here nobody enforces mandates. Nobody does. There's mask mandates. Some people wear them, some people don't. I wear one, but it's not enforced in the slightest bit almost anywhere, right? Yeah, people have signs up, but nobody says, no, we don't want your business if you're not going to wear a mask. Nobody does that here, right? And yet, and then you got Dr. Fauci going, well, that doesn't really make sense to me. Well, maybe it's because somebody very dear to me worded it this way for me. He said that, well, maybe it's because you don't really understand this sickness as much as you think you do, which tells me that they probably don't really understand the vaccine very well just yet either. So that's my concern. That's just my concern. I think there's a lot of pressure for a vaccine right now, and it's being rushed. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that it's something that I keep in mind. It's something that is in the back of my mind. Right. I like my freedom too. That's my whole thing. I'm not saying whether I'm going to get the vaccine or not. I'm not saying whether or not I've gotten the vaccine or not. I'm simply saying it's my choice if I do or if I had. It's my choice. And as long as it's my choice, I'm totally okay with it. Totally okay with it. All right. So, yeah, I think we're all a little pissed off that this guy is free. I think we're all a little bit more pissed off that this guy gets to hang out with his kids. And the only supervision is because I don't have a problem with this guy seeing his kids. If he's got six kids and he actually happens to be a good dad and he doesn't victimize these children in any way, shape, or form, then he should see his kids. And his kids shouldn't have to pay for what their father's done. I mean, they shouldn't have to pay for it. Yes, Kangaroo Josh got out on bail. Yeah, they shouldn't have to pay for it. So I mean, but and it's not up to us to say what's happened to them and what hasn't. And that's the thing, is we have to remember that the law works a certain way, and we have to take into consideration that this judge does not know. We don't have any proof, allegations, indications at all whatsoever that these particular kids have been victimized by him in any way, shape, or form. We just know that, I mean, she said it as plainly as she possibly could. It concerns her, but she doesn't have proof to make decisions to keep this person away from this person's family away from him. I don't like it, but at the same time, I understand it. Like, I get it. Uh-oh. Sorry, Aaron. Yeah, my internet goes out in the middle of my streams all the time. It'll probably happen tonight. It happens consistently almost every night. But my camera is actually lasting longer each time than it usually does. Okay, good night, Louisiana girl. Thank you. So yeah, man. I mean, it's not too much of a reach to think he would harm them, but you have to understand that the judge, when a judge in a civil case or a criminal case, it doesn't even matter. You have to understand that the judge is always going to be thinking of the children's best interests. Now, you are thinking of the children's best interest as well. I totally acknowledge that. I feel the same way, but you also have to think that he has not been convicted or even accused of doing anything to them specifically. You know, I mean, just because the dude's a chomo doesn't mean that he is necessarily into incest. Then again, he was accused by his own siblings. So, yes, this would seriously concern me if I was a judge. But again, there's been no accusation made from those children. There's been nothing to indicate that there's a suspicion of him doing anything specifically to those children. And the judge has to make rulings based on that. I'm assuming so. I think that's probably why. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But I believe that that's probably the case. And that's probably what the mentality that this judge is making her decisions on. So yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. But it seems like they're keeping a pretty tight leash on the guy. So we'll see. Okay, now guys, it's going to be a long one. We are going to go over the press conference. I know many of you have already watched it today, but we're moving on to the Barry Morphew situation, where Barry Morphew was arrested today and charged with murder, with first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and influencing a public official. And I'm dying to know what that's all about.
Okay. Up. Okay, yeah. All right. I'm Chaffee County Sheriff John Speasy. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to read you a prepared statement, and then we'll introduce our district attorney and take questions after. Good afternoon. I wanted to thank you for traveling to Chaffee County on such short notice for today's briefing. Before we begin, I just wanted to speak briefly about Suzanne. I have to admit, I did not know Suzanne personally before the beginning of the investigation, but now I feel I've gotten to know Suzanne quite well. I have learned that Suzanne loved her two daughters.
Can you guys hear that at all? Okay. I think it's just the sound on my end, but that's okay.
Mallory and Macy deeply, and there was nothing she wouldn't do for them. I've also learned that Suzanne had a passion for life and lived it to its fullest. I've also learned that Suzanne was very easy to like and was cherished by her closest friends. I believe people like Suzanne are a rare find, and those who knew her were indeed very lucky. Today marks a major milestone in this investigation of Suzanne Morphew's disappearance. We are announcing that at 09:15 hours this morning, the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office arrested Suzanne Morphew's husband, Barry Morphew. He was taken into custody near his home in Poncha Springs. He was alone at the time of his arrest, and he was arrested without incident. Today marks the culmination of thousands of hours in this comprehensive investigative effort to locate the mother of two who went missing May 10th of 2020. More than 70 investigators from the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and dozens of other local law enforcement agencies have provided their expertise on this case. We've executed more than 135 search warrants across Colorado. We've interviewed more than 400 individuals in multiple states. Our team has also investigated more than 1,400 tips generated from within and outside of law enforcement. In early April, the extensive work completed by our investigative team was presented to the 11th Judicial District Attorney's Office. In that multiple-hour presentation, we outlined all of the information and evidence we have taken in over the past 12 months. Following that meeting, the District Attorney's Office reviewed our case and information and solidified their decision to move forward on this case. Today is not the day for celebration, nor does it mark the end of this investigation. Rather, it's the next step in this very difficult yet very important journey as we seek justice for Suzanne and her family.
I want to make it clear, and I want to point that out real quick. I want to point out how he just said this is not a time for celebration, because it is not, guys. This is the first quarter in the game, guys. All right. This is the DA saying, okay, with what we've got, we're moving forward. We don't know what they've got yet. And from what I understand, most of it's circumstantial. We'll see. And I don't want to misquote him, but Mike King from Profiling Evil, who actually was an extremely resourceful, he was a resourceful help in this investigation. Not just by covering the case on his channel, but I mean, he's a profiler. So he actually assisted to some capacity. So, I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at. So whatever he says, I'm going to kind of listen to is more or less gospel. Because he kind of called this, we're talking about a profiler. Now, if there's it's one thing if I'm hearing a YouTube creator just be like, well, look at him. Look at him. He totally did it, which is what I've been hearing for the past year. Right. But this guy he's a professional. He's a profiler, and he's looking at him going, yeah, dude, this guy's not looking good. Right. So, that's going to hold a lot of water with me for sure. Just like I'm going to take Scott Reich's word over anybody else's when it comes to discussing the defense of one of these people that we're talking about on here. Because he's a defense attorney. So that's, I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna listen to Duty Ron, because Duty Ron is a retired New York police detective who has experience investigating these types of things. Hey, mods, do me a favor. Somebody just never mind. I'll take care of it. I'll just leave that comment up. There's nothing in the chat. It's just a comment that came up in one of my other lives, and then I'm just like, but nah, I'll take care of it. Hey, Julie Witcherman, it's good to see you. So yeah, man, I don't. So here's the thing. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna get into this thing here. When it comes to my opinions on this case, and again, dude, I'm just some guy, man, and I'm 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 not very well educated, almost at all, other than just following these cases and what I have observed, and that's what I'm going to comment on, and that's where my opinions come from. So don't invest too much in what my opinions are, but. And I believe Barry Morphew to be guilty. Personally. Now, I honestly did not believe him to be guilty prior to this, but I did not believe him to be innocent either. I want to be 150% clear on that. I have never said that I thought Barry Morphew was innocent, but it's just not, I've not seen enough to convince me that he's guilty necessarily. Because if I, you got to understand, people, this whole time I'm trying to look at this from the perspective of a man who is possibly missing his wife and worried like hell about her. And if he's innocent, on top of being one of the people who misses this person the most and is most worried about her, on top of that, he's being accused of being responsible for her disappearance by everyone. So, when I find a reason to doubt anything, then I'm going to speak up and say, yeah, that's not enough to convince me yet. Now that he's under arrest, I'm definitely leaning towards the guilt part. I'm leaning towards the guilt part for the very same reason. And this is not, I'm not to bring up other creators, but the fact of the matter is this creator had someone on her panel tonight who claimed to be a very good friend of this person, right? And he said something that I very much agree with, because this is a guy that is all of a sudden, I think his name's what's his name? Cody? Is that his name? Anybody know? Is that his name, Cody? I don't know. I don't know who this dude is. He's a co-worker or somebody who worked under Barry, and supposedly, according to him, that him and Barry were good friends. Now, supposedly this person has been defending Barry this entire time. No way, blah, 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 going on social media saying no way, blah, blah, blah. And then now that he's on that he's being interviewed by this creator, she straight up asked him, do you think at this point, do you think that he did this? And that he's responsible for her disappearance. And he responds, well, now that he's under arrest, I mean, they wouldn't have arrested him unless they had enough to feel like they were sure that he did it. I mean, this dude's tune, made a 180, right? This guy changed key. So, I mean, that to me speaks volumes, because I feel the same way. I feel that now that law enforcement feels that they have enough, actually, I should say the DA, because we're going to get into that too, because we're going to listen to her talk, and I have some opinions on her on her addressing everyone here. We're going to keep going here, though, in the meantime. But
I know how deeply this case has impacted our community over the past 12 months. Through multiple conversations I've had with our citizens across the county, one message was clear from everyone, and that's that they wanted answers and they wanted justice for Suzanne. Although I'm not able to offer specific details, I want to assure the community that every action our investigators took in the past year led to today's arrest. This arrest would not be possible without the assistance of our supporting law enforcement agencies, which include the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and of course the 11th Judicial District Attorney, Linda Stanley, and members of her office. Before District Attorney Linda Stanley speaks, I want to extend my deep appreciation.
Now, keep in mind, man, he just named 3 different agencies involved in this investigation. 3 different agencies involved in this investigation. So that, to me, that also is nothing to shake a stick at. You know, if these 3, you have 3 different law enforcement agencies, and one of them being federal. Well, I mean, at this point, if they had enough to arrest this man, chances are they're pretty confident in a conviction. Because it's not about an arrest, people. It's about a conviction. And if they didn't think they could convict, they wouldn't arrest.
To our community for their support they've shown us for over the past year. While this has been a trying time for our citizens, I've seen our community rally around one another in our investigative team. I'd now like to introduce District Attorney Linda Stanley.
My name is Linda Stanley. I'm the District Attorney for the 11th Judicial District, which includes Fremont County, Custer, and Chaffee County.
And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think she's kind of hot. I like women just like a couple years older than me, and I dig the leather. I'm just being honest.
I wanted to say that thanks for being here for everybody, and there's a couple of things I'd like to address about this case.
And the badge just hanging around her neck like that. You know, she's totally giving me some Mariska Hargitay vibes right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even trying to lie. She's totally giving me some Detective Benson vibes, and she's a DA, you know? So I'm not even trying to lie, man.
First, the investigation is still ongoing. Suzanne, her body has not been found, and we're still looking into that. The investigation is ongoing. Second, Barry Morphew.
And I love, yeah, and I love that the focus is on Suzanne. You know, whenever these officials address the situation, it's always about Suzanne, and I love that. They've already come to terms that they believe that Suzanne is no longer with us, but they continue to give her the same respect as if she's missing and still alive, because it's that important to recover her remains, and it's that important to get her justice. And I love that.
Is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's important to remember. Third, the arrest affidavit is sealed at this time. I cannot and will not discuss it. Fourth, all media inquiries from this date forward should go through my office. However, I'm sure you all are aware and know that we cannot talk about any open or active investigation, and that is per the rules of professional conduct that we will abide by. Lastly, I wanted to say that today is a good day. It's a good day for all of the men and women in law enforcement that have tirelessly worked toward getting here. They worked day in and day out, sacrificing more than any of you will ever know. They even continued working and continued.
See, I have mixed feelings about the way she delivers information, though, and the way she says things. There's something about her attitude that I'm not sure if I love it or I hate it. I'm being completely honest. Like the way she says the hard work that most of you will never know. Maybe that's true, but I mean, is that really for her to say? You know, you don't know what the hell these people do for to put food on their table. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Their sacrifices as they were being raked over the coals and second guessed as to their skills and abilities. I'm standing here in front of you.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, she's kind of pulling a Letitia Stock right here in this interview, is she not? I know. Oh my God, y'all are gonna fucking lynch me, man. I'm just saying, she's talking about how all the suffering that the law enforcement endured, all the mudslinging that they endured throughout this investigation. I mean, we don't really need to hear that. We want to hear we want to hear that rolled right off your back, man. That wasn't nothing. That's part of the job. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of reassurance I want from this this team of law enforcement.
Day, because they never quit. Sheriff Speasy and his deputies at the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, Alex Walker, investigator for the 11th Judicial District, those two individuals in Sheriff Speasy's office in particular are consummate professionals and, quite frankly, some of the best I've ever worked with in my entire professional career. They followed every lead, every tip, and every unanswered question, no matter what direction it led them in. They never compromised the integrity of the investigation. On several occasions over the last
I think that deserves. I don't like when they kind of get up there. Maybe it's because I really want more information on the case and information that I know they can't really release, but I want it so bad. Maybe it's the subconscious frustration that I'm not getting that makes me annoyed and come to the and come to the opinion that they sound like they're accepting an award or something when they're up there. You know, I'd like to thank this person, thank this person, thank this person. You know, might as well just give shout outs. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we want to know where the investigation is. You know, I understand that you all worked very hard. I acknowledge that you all worked very hard. And I'm grateful that you all worked very hard. But, you know, I mean, we know, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what we really want to know. And you're just telling us a bunch of stuff that we already do know and we already acknowledge. So I get a little frustrated with that. But the fact is, though, their hard work merits the recognition. It does. So I'm not going to ultimately get, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of thinking out loud to you guys and letting you know, like, my thought process goes one way and then I start to really think about it. And then I come to an ultimate conclusion where I'm like, I think that, you know, yeah, I want to know more and everything. And so when you're just talking about yourself, it starts to bother me because I'm waiting for you to get to something else, but it's not going to happen. And then I realize, you know what? This is a day to be grateful, and they deserve the recognition for their hard work and what they've done and what they've sacrificed. And I don't have a problem acknowledging that at all. So kudos to these law enforcement agencies.
A few months after I was sworn in on January 12th of this year, I met with these professionals and went through hours and hours of their meticulous investigation. Their investigation was presented to our office just a few weeks ago. For me, today is a good day, but for my office, this is where the work begins. There's more work to be done.
That's absolutely right.
However, this is an important and incredibly crucial step.
This is game one of the finals, people.
And today is a good day for Suzanne. As far as I'm concerned, today is all about Suzanne. And it's about her family. And it's about all the individuals that knew her and loved her and cared about her. That's what this day is about.
Can you guys imagine what Suzanne's family is going through right now? Her 2 daughters, her brother. I mean, I don't even want to imagine what her 2 daughters are going through right now. I mean, they're essentially losing both their parents. What do they do? What do those 2 girls do now? Young adults, the best years of their life, and this happens.
And it's a good day. Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and take some questions now.
Can you tell us?
Right, turn your way.
Thank you. Can I please, the district attorney, if you don't mind, you're not releasing the affidavit. You don't have a body. How can you prove to the members of the public that you have a strong case?
For those that didn't hear the question, he said, we're not releasing the affidavit and we don't have a body, so how can I convince the public that we have a strong case?
Now, when I was listening to this at Annie's live, I remember commenting in the chat saying, I love the question. I love the question.
That's my job. I'm the one that considers how strong my case is before I bring charges, and I wouldn't bring charges unless I was confident.
But I hated the answer. Not gonna lie, I hated that answer. I want better than that. That was get off my case. That was a get off my back answer. Does she have the right to say that? And does she have the right to put it that way? Sure, she has the right to put it that way. But she's an elected official. She's a civil servant. This was a very, very valid question. How can you assure the people who have been demanding justice in this case for a year? How can you assure us that you have a strong enough case to convict? And her answer was, that's my job to worry about that. I'm the one doing this. I didn't like that at all. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like that at all. Because I thought the question was fantastic. That it was a very, very valid question. As I thought it was a question asked specifically for me.
Suzanne has been missing for nearly a year now. What made you take this step today as opposed to any time in the past year?
Who's that directed to?
Either one.
Would you repeat the question, please? Kinda.
Yeah. If I could have you stand in front of the microphone just to make sure that we pick it up. Suzanne has been missing for nearly a year. What made you take this step today as opposed to any time in the past year?
It's been a culmination of our investigation over the past year. Honestly, it kind of oversimplifies. Today is just any other day. It's been our investigation over the past year that got us where we are today. And based on other information we gathered, we acted on it. I want
to address Siren Jag's comment. He's making a very, very good point. And I've made this point many times myself. Siren Jag is saying they don't want to give away the strategy to the defense. They can't reveal that. I agree. But the fact is, like I said, this is an elected official. She's the district attorney. I feel that she has a responsibility to give us, at least patronize us. All right, so let's get into this, right? This is going to be fun because y'all are going to hate me for this shit. Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump gave answers like that all the time. And people either hated him for those answers or they loved him for those answers. So this right here and what she just did right there is clearly a matter of opinion and how she handled that. I feel she could have given us something. I mean, the answer was direct. She basically kind of said, fuck you to the guy for asking that question. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she kind of just basically was just like, you know, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact is, yeah, like the guy was asking, the reporter was asking a question in the form of, I mean, he's implying, don't you think that you owe us some sort of assurance that you have enough evidence? I found her answer to be somewhat defensive. And so what that did was fail to assure me. Does that make sense? So her being in a position that she's in, being completely in charge of prosecuting this case. Now I get that she has a lot of pressure, but what she just did was not assure me that she's handling that pressure well by giving a borderline irrational answer to a very, very valid question. And I realize a lot of people really, really like this lady. I'm not questioning her competence in this. I'm not questioning her ability, her know-how, her shrewdness. I'm not questioning her having the skills and all the tools to effectively convict Barry Morphew and put him away for life. I am not questioning that. What I am saying, though, is that particular answer made me, for a second, question her confidence. Not her competence, but her confidence. Because she was offended. Let's watch that one more time. Because I realize this might be a very unpopular opinion, because people all day long have been blasting this lady as being this great person, you know, and I think she is, but I don't think it's unfair to point this one thing out and as to why I'm not thrilled about it. So I'm gonna bring it back.
Don't mind. You're not releasing the affidavit. You don't have a body. How can you prove to the members of the public that you have a strong case?
For those that didn't hear the question, he said, we're not releasing the affidavit and we don't have a body, so how can I convince the public that we have a strong case? That's my job. I'm the one that considers how strong my case is before I bring charges, and I wouldn't bring charges unless I was confident.
And then look, she gives him like the look, she gives him the evil eye. Like she's got the evil eye on him, dude, after spitting venom. You know what I'm saying? Like, type of 1 if you think that's just in my head. Type of 2 if you saw what I saw. She totally side-eyed him, dude. She totally side-eyed him. Now, don't get me wrong. I like this lady. I feel like she's someone who acts on instinct, but I also think that she believes she has evidence, but the criticism may be kind of getting to her. It's a hell of a day. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell she's kind of a, she's kind of a maverick, man. I hate to sound like Sarah Palin. She's a maverick. She's a maverick, right? But I mean, look at her. She's out there. She's straight up looking like a hardcore detective you don't fuck with on NBC at 10 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck with this lady, right? She will nail your balls to the wall, right? And she probably gets tested a lot. Man, being in her position, can you imagine the hard work it took to get to where she is? Can you imagine that? But I'm saying I have valid reason to dislike her answer to that question and how she delivered it. That's literally all I'm saying. But I think she's awesome. So far, I think she's awesome.
Suzanne has been missing for nearly a year now. What made you take this step today?
She's pissed, man. Look at her.
Anytime in the past year?
Who's that directed to?
Either one.
Would you repeat the question, please? Kinda.
Yeah. If I can have you stand in front of the microphone just to make sure that we pick it up. Suzanne has been missing for nearly a year. What made you take this step today as opposed to any time in the past year?
It's been a culmination of our investigation over the past year. Honestly, it kind of oversimplifies. Today is just any other day. It's been our investigation over the past year that got us where we are today. And based on other information we gathered, we acted on. I mean, today became the day, but it's been.
Erica, if I saw her in a bar dressed like that with with a badge hanging around her neck, I'd walk right up to her. I'm bold as fuck like that. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. All right. It's Oak Leaf night. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I have dated cops before, and yeah, I like cops. I do. I'm not even trying to lie, man. There's a whole different mindset there. There's a whole different mindset there. And you know, I like cops.
A culmination of everything we've gained over the past year. And I know for everybody here, you say, well, that's hard to understand that because we haven't said so much about the investigation. That's what's so important about this investigation that got us here today is the amount of everything that's gone into this and what's brought us here and the ability to remain silent and do the very best we can to put the best case forward. All of that led us to where we are today.
Go ahead.
This can also be for the sheriff. You made this arrest today, and you've been searching for Suzanne Morphew for a year. Is there any indication today that she is not alive anymore as your search continues?
And repeat the question if you could.
The question is if we'd been searching for her and we hadn't found her, and if there's any indication that she wasn't alive today, is that correct? Well, we believe that she's not alive. We've filed first-degree murder charges, or we're in the process of filing first-degree murder charges. So our belief is Suzanne is not alive at this time. Yeah,
so that's the confirmation right there that the confirmation is that they charged Barry Morphew with first-degree murder, but and tampering with evidence, which we can assume that means moving the body from one place to the other. Now, based on their charges, based on the charges against Barry Morphew that they charged him with, I believe at this point, personally, what makes the most sense to me is that they either have a murder weapon or they found enough evidence to know that her body was in one particular location at one time, or they discovered the crime scene and they found enough evidence to indicate that that location is the crime scene. So that's where I'm at right now.
Sheriff Speedy, talk about how when you press charges today, when in your investigation did you know he was no longer alive, and when did you change to it was no longer a missing person case that you were dealing with? It was now.
You know, that's actually a really good question. I'm sorry. It's a good question in that it's not the light bulb moment doesn't happen over.
Who's this lady with the mask, like dictating where everybody stands, and what is that? That's weird.
Night. It's when you begin an investigation, you start collecting information, you gain more information, and as you go along, you continually assess what you're doing, and as time goes by, you start eliminating certain things and start bringing in other things, and as you progress, you go from one point to another, and you make realizations, and so your investigation is always, it never ends till it's over, if that makes sense, and you're constantly learning things, and so you go from what you believe here to what we present now, and so it's a process, and it's been a long process, been a very tedious process.
Was there a date or a time? Black trench coat? Yeah,
Okay, she's dictating. She seems like the most powerful person there. Isn't that odd? She's dictating like who asks questions. So yeah, she's probably the PR lady.
I know that District Attorney Sanders said the warrant is overall sealed, but could we let the person know what he's been charged with? You said first degree murder, anything else?
Jan, you're Jan, right?
Yeah.
That was in the early press release we put out. Did it not have a charge?
I don't think it came out in the original.
Okay,
Could you read all the charges?
I don't have them with me. Do you have them? Where's Alex?
I don't like that he doesn't know what the charges are. Does anybody else? I mean, come on, man. I don't like that, dude.
Okay,
Could you read all the charges?
I don't have them with me. Do you have them?
How did you know what I'm saying? Like,
Where's Alex? Yeah.
I remembered him off the top of my head, and I never remember anything, man. I'm always reading something off. And this dude, yeah, I mean, he's the sheriff, you know? Like, that's not comforting at all.
The question was asking what the charges were. It was first-degree homicide. It was tampering with evidence, and attempting to influence a public servant.
Go ahead, Vincent.
Sure. Is Mr. Morphew being held here at the facility now?
The question is if Mr. Morphew is in our detention facility. Barry Morphew is in the Chaffey County Detention Facility.
And then what are the next steps? When will he make a first appearance, etc.? Or do we not know yet?
The question was what is the next step and when is his first appearance? Tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning will be his advisement, where any arguments on his bond will be heard.
Can you give an update for the sheriff? Can you give an update on the search for Suzanne Morphew? We've been covering that a bit. Has that changed at all? Is there any new locations that you're looking, any new evidence that you're going on?
You know, honestly, it changes every day. If we receive information, we've as I stated before, we've investigated 1,400 tips. We're always reacting to new information.
All right, real quick, I want to correct Danette there. It's not solicitation. It was attempting to influence a public official. So that tells me, I mean, it sounds like bribe to me. Sounds like bribe. And if it was blackmail, then, you know, they would have said blackmail, I think. So I think he tried to bribe somebody. And I mean, that's interesting. So I wonder if that's, but they tacked that. Did they tack that on later? Because when I first, maybe it was just bad reporting. The first article I read said that it was just murder and tampering with evidence. But then when I was live, someone in my chat said, you know, influencing a public official. And I was like, what does that even mean? So I wonder what happened there. Very interested in what happened there. So somebody, so it sounds like somebody's testimony is going to be very valuable here.
There's always things we're looking at. We never rule out anything, so it's ongoing.
Is there anything new that you can share with us in terms of where you're looking?
There's nothing I can share at this time because it's still an open and ongoing investigation, so we're not able to share any of that information.
So back here, do you expect to make any other arrests in connection with this case?
Do we expect to make any more arrests?
Interesting. Remember, Caleb just made, he made, now I didn't listen to every live stream today, but he made a point that I haven't thought about all day. I hadn't heard about all day, and I hadn't thought about in a long time. Caleb says, remember, he was a volunteer for the fire department, and the entire fire department was prohibited from participating in the search. That is 100% true. I remember that. So, yeah, I wonder how that comes into play here. So that along with these charges makes for some interesting speculation.
In this case, no, we don't expect that at this time. No.
Is there an alleged cause of death?
Yo, Caleb is the shit.
The question is there an alleged cause of death? So at this time, without the body, we wouldn't be able to say that publicly. We do have information that led us to this point today and how we think a certain scenario had occurred. But as we investigate further, that may change. So at this time, I can't comment.
That's why I think they may have a murder weapon. I want to boil it down to, as far as my speculation goes, I want to I based on that comment and my lack of education, it leads me to think that there's a murder weapon, or that there is a crime scene that they discovered. They discovered evidence at a suspected crime scene where they believe the crime actually took place. I want to hear her answer one more time.
This is for either the sheriff or the district attorney. Has Barry Morphew have you been able to
today, and how we think this time without the body, we.
Here we go. One more time.
The question is there an alleged cause of death? So at this time, without the body, we wouldn't be able to say that publicly. We do have information that led us to this point today and how we think a certain scenario had occurred. But as we investigate further, that may change. So at this time, I can't comment.
All right, we're going to take 2 more questions. Let's get to, go ahead.
The body, we wouldn't be able to say that publicly. We do have information that led us to this point today and how we think a certain scenario had occurred.
Scenarios that circumstances that led us to this point today, and scenarios that may have occurred. Very, very vague. Very vague. But, you know, yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, because what's crazy is 2 of the cases that I'm talking about right now, people, 2 of the cases I'm talking about right now, being little James Hutchinson, little Hutch, and Joe Clyde Daniels. And both of them, they don't have a body for either one. And the only thing that they have are confessions. They have confessions, and they have the fact that these children are missing. Now, you don't necessarily need a body to get a conviction, but you also need to understand that a confession is not enough to convict on. So I mean, you look at these other two cases that I just named, and the confessions are retracted. They're like, no, forget I said that. And they can absolutely do that. And a lot of the reason they can do that is because there's no evidence to indicate that their confession is valid. There's no blood spatter for Joe Clyde Daniels. There's no evidence that little Hutch was run over where he was run over. So, I mean, and they don't have a body, but again, like, they charged Letitia Stock with murder before finding Gannon's body, but we know that they found the crime scene, and what they found was that he lost so much blood that it soaked through his sheets, through the mattress, through the bed frame, through the carpet, into the concrete. Now, I really hope that if they believe Suzanne Morphew to be gone, to have been murdered, I really hope that they have something that substantial, and they're just not telling us about it yet. But at some point, that arrest affidavit will be made public. It will be. So we're going to get the answers that we want, people. We just got to be patient. We got to let law enforcement do their job. And we got to let this DA do her job with her fine self.
But as we investigate further, that may change. So at this time, I can't comment.
All right, we're going to take 2 more questions. Let's get to.
And I think she's going to do a good job, man. I really do. I personally believe in her confidence. I just don't think that she displayed it very well in that answer.
The question was if the suspect, Mr. Morphew, had answered any of our questions or told us where Suzanne Morphew's body is. And after Mr. Morphew was arrested this morning, he was taken into custody, and when asked questions, he said he wanted a lawyer. So all questioning ended.
Last question. Go ahead. Has Mr. Morphew retained counsel at this point?
Yes, he has retained counsel.
Okay. I think we're going to go ahead and.
We haven't heard from him in a year. Can we have a couple more questions? He's done one press conference this whole time.
And I get that.
It's been a year.
Yeah, and we've got a news release that's coming out, and there's going to be more.
Listen, thank you, Cherry K, for deleting those messages, because that's not very nice talk about my my new crush. All right.
So thank you so much. News release will be coming out in just a few minutes. We appreciate your patience and your time for traveling here today. Thank you so much.
Did you already put a mugshot out? Too?
That'll come out with that.
Hard to discover new audiences?
Hey,
It's time to try to.
quiet, you. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay? Let's do this. We're going to do something here. Okay. Okay. I don't mean no disrespect to the lady, man. It's like seriously, I think that she's going to do a great job. I think that she's been doing a great job. And I think on a personal level, I feel like she had the right to react the way that she did. But at the same time, she could have done it better. Hell yeah, we're doing this. Cherry K, what you think I'm trying to run here, girl? K? Cherry? K? Yeah, man. Yo, that dude. That poor Cody dude, man. That dude is. I mean, but my man, he should have just stayed off social media, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't. Like, how well do you really know somebody that you work for? You know, sometimes you do. I get that. Sometimes people who have work relationships are very close people. But this guy never described a very close relationship. Not close enough to where you're like, oh, well, you know, this dude like really knew the family and you know, he was around them all the time. And I mean, he didn't really have many answers about knowing them intimately, you know, in any way, shape, or form. And what happened with this Cody dude was all that happened with him was that he just like started defending what he considered to be a friend all over social media because he was being accused of something when that there was no proof of at the time. So, okay, right? But Cherry K, stop it. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, there was no. At this point, the guy sitting up there going, "Well, I didn't know. I mean, I thought I knew him, and blah blah blah." And you know, and I'm gonna give him credit for his honesty. Like he didn't sit there and try to like lie to save face or anything like that. He was like, "Well, yeah, I didn't think he was capable of that." And then, you know, once the cops arrested him, then I was like, maybe. Don't tell me what that dude troll. Oh man, I love Cherry K so much. Yeah, guys. So this is kind of a taste of what happens in Patreon. The only difference is I talk about cases that we already know the outcomes of, and yeah, and there's only a few of us, and we have a blast. And, you know, there's this involved. All right, so motive, Barry Morphew, motive. Who's got opinions on motive? Now, I don't want a paragraph, but I also don't want to like say it's this or type of one or two. I want to say, give me a motive in the chat that I don't have to read an entire paragraph. Well, well, well. That's an interesting observation right there. This is why I love my chat. His wheels could have started turning when she was sick. Just a guess. It's a very good guess. People, what's the answer to 99 out of 100 questions? Has anybody been watching this channel long enough to know what's the answer to 99 out of 100 questions? Come on, you've been typing it. No, man. No, Cherry Case. Stop it. Jesus. Janessa P got it. Man, if this was a Save Robbie giveaway, you would get a candle or something. I don't know. I don't know what Save Robbie gives away. I always just play the trivia just to play a trivia. I love that he does the. But yes. The answer to 99 out of 100 questions, people, is always money. Always. 99% of the time. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's a life insurance policy. I don't know about any of that. I'm guessing that there is, though. Right? I'm guessing that there is. I'm guessing somebody took out a life insurance policy on her, and Barry is the beneficiary. I mean, come on, dude. What else could the motive possibly be? You don't murder somebody when you just want to leave your wife, unless you're Chris Watts. Barry Morphew is not Chris Watts. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to go ahead and chuck that right out the window. Anybody who starts to compare this man to Chris Watts, you're just being ignorant. You know, respectfully, but you're being ignorant. Okay, Chris Watts does not have the brains that this guy has. So, and I'm of the opinion that the reason, the main reason, okay, y'all are gonna like this. The main reason why Chris Watts did what he did, sheer stupidity. Sheer stupidity. Just leave your wife, man. Just leave. Just leave. You're going to annihilate your entire family so that you could be with another woman? Dude, why? Why? I mean, we're not talking about he was a serial killer or nothing. So I'm calling stupidity. Stupidity being the motive for Chris Watts. Now, as far as Barry Morphew is concerned, yeah, I'm thinking he's a little bit smarter than that. I'm thinking this guy was having money problems. Chris Watts was having money problems too, but I think he just lashed out over the money problems. I don't think that was the case with this dude. I think there was money to be made. I think he needed some sort of bailout. Erica, the smart girl, man. Listen, dude, I don't ever need to get married. I don't. I got mixed feelings about the whole subject. I'll be completely honest. But you better believe that if by some fluke I ever become a millionaire, dude, prenup. Prenup. That is happening. That is happening. Because I don't need to be married. I don't give a fuck. Don't care. I don't need to be married, man. Like, if I ever get to a point to where I propose to a woman, if I get rejected and told no, it's just another day. Seriously, just another day. I swear to God. I can't imagine ever caring that much about being rejected. So, yeah, prenup, easy. Because I don't mind the idea of being married to somebody. I honestly don't. You know, I you know, there's been women that I've been, you know, in relationships with where I loved literally doing everything with them. We had great times. You know what I'm saying? But I love being alone too, man. I'm not even trying to lie. Absolutely love it. Absolutely fucking love it. Dude, yeah, Cherry K. That's what I'm saying. It's like, wait, all of a sudden, like, I'm making this lifelong commitment. Somebody at work asked me, what do you do now that your kids are grown? Whatever the fuck I want. Whatever the fuck I want. I mean, dude, now all of a sudden, now I have this, and I'm gonna like chuck that? No way, dude. Am I a damn fool? Yeah, I'm a damn fool, but I mean, I'm not a damn fool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, no, I respect the ceremony of marriage. Dude, my brother's wedding was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. Easily the most beautiful wedding that I've ever been to. My brother's wedding was fantastic, you know, and I got to be part of it. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing was just great. Like I was there like in a tuxedo, and I was doing photo shoots with his best friends, you know, the guys that I was trying to be a part of when I was, you know, a little fuck up. You know what I mean? Like it was a great experience. It was fantastic. And then to see my brother like up on that altar and, you know, and just making that commitment, man, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Everybody cried. I cried a little. See my brother do that. You know what I mean? Like, but nope. Hell no. I'm good. I'm good. I don't know how y'all do that, man. I mean, but I don't know. I might, you know what I'm saying? Like I might, but I'm just saying, like, yeah. At this stage in my life, to be married for the first time, like, I'm not taking any risks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking any damn risks. Yeah, man. I don't want to understand these people, man. I got married and I'm going to kill the person I married. What? Dude, one thing about this is one thing that's going to trip you guys out about me, man. Like one thing about me when it comes to my fascination on murder, right? My fascination with murder is like it's always like the biggest underachievers that end up doing it. You know, not Barry Morphew, for instance, but you know what I mean? Like, they do it, and then it's like, dude, you know how much work you know how much work goes into like getting away with a murder? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I can't imagine I can't imagine hating someone so much to where I would be motivated to do so much work. I don't know how else to word that. I can't imagine hating someone so much to where I would be motivated to do so much hard, tedious work. And on top of it, be worried, be completely and totally like consumed with worry all the time that somebody might be onto what I did and what I'm living with forever. Now I got to live with, I got to carry this weight that I murdered somebody, and dude, that's too much, man. I refuse to give somebody I hate that much of myself. I refuse to do that. I just don't have it in me to be a murderer, man. I don't understand these people, dude. I don't understand these people. They work so hard. And they don't end up getting away with it. And then you watch a mob movie and they make it look easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make it seem like all you got to do is wear a shower cap and, you know, some joggers and some you know, shoe booties that painters wear to not get paint on their shoes, so you don't leave any DNA, right? But I mean, dude, nobody does that. And that's too much. That's too much. Man, I can't, dude, I couldn't carry that weight that I killed somebody, dude. I couldn't carry the weight that I took somebody's life. I couldn't carry the weight that I put so much weight on so many other people. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. I feel like you just gotta be like a really bad person or a really stupid person or both to be, you know, a murderer. Alexis Lee. That shit's funny. Dude, I was never, dude, I remember when I lived in Miami. Listen, when I lived in Miami, I messed around a lot with cocaine for a brief period of time, and it was it was one of the worst times of my life. Yeah, Ellie Brabs, that is real, right? That is fucking real. That is so real. And yeah, I'm too lazy. But also I don't have it in me, man. I really don't. I don't have it in me, man. Like, I remember I thought, man, what an easy way to make money. An easy way to make money is to sell blow, right? Half grams, you know. I could live where I was living, you know. I mean, easy thing to do. A lot of people in Miami were doing it. Most people in Miami were doing it. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? No, I can't. It's not me. It's just not me. It's not in me to do it, because I realized I'm gonna have to buy a gun. I'm gonna have to buy an unregistered, unlicensed gun, right? I'm you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, like, you start doing that in order to protect yourself properly. Well, you have to engage in like extremely criminal behavior, which that I'm just not. Yeah, that's not me, man. You know, because the thing is if you're a small time drug dealer, and people know you, and you have a certain network of customers, well, word's going to get out. I mean, you're dealing with addicts, right? So somebody's going to try to rob you. And if somebody tries to rob you and you're a drug dealer and somebody tries to rob you, well, guess what? It's either you or them. What are you going to do? Report your drugs missing to the police? No. And I realized this. I was like, that's not me. I could never do that. If it came down to me or them, I mean, I don't know. But it's not me. It's not me to, yeah. I'm not going to go buy a gun and you know. So I just never, I could never have done that. Caleb's that guy that sells to his frat brothers. I had a coworker telling me that he had a friend that recently got busted with like something like 300 pounds of pot and like 300 grams of coke. And I'm like, oh, that person's dead. You know, I don't mean to laugh about it, but I mean, it's true. Think about it. That person's fucking dead. I was like, yeah, say goodbye to them, you know? Because the fact is if they got caught with that much and they're just a couple of college kids, they owe somebody money. That's real. They owe somebody a lot of money. Somebody that they can't afford to owe somebody a lot of money to. I can't, I would never get into that. I would never, ever, ever, ever get into that. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. Yeah, what am I going to strong arm people? You know what I mean? Like, it's not me, man. Like, I bet you I would have always fronted people, and then, like, if they didn't pay me, that's what would happen. I would have inevitably gotten robbed. I'd have been that guy that fronted people just to get them out of my face, right? And then when they didn't pay me, I was soft. Word got around, and then somebody would be like, "This is the dude to rob." It's just, some people got the stuff for that. I don't got the stuff for that. That's not me. That's not me at all. Yeah. And Danette's over here like, Will would be too nice. I'm a dick. That's what would happen is I'd get robbed and then I'd be a dick to the people robbing me and they'd kill me. That's what would happen. That's for sure. Like, I would troll them and they'd get annoyed and shoot me. That's exactly what would happen. Cherry K. Cherry K is fantastic. Dude, listen, if you're a creator and you don't have Cherry K as a mod, you're missing out. You're missing out. I'm telling you right now. I got the cream of the crop. Okay. Dude. Yeah, man. So we got, I mean, This DA, man. That's the thing, is I'm worried, man. I'm worried that Barry Morphew, man, like, this is my whole thing. Annie was starting to get a little flustered when I was in her chat and I was commenting, because I was not convinced that Barry Morphew was guilty for a very long time. And Annie was. And we were, we actually texted about it, but when I was in her chat talking about it, I was saying, it's not that I think that he's innocent. It's not that at all. I've never claimed to think that he's innocent, but I do. I do believe that it's, how do I word this? I think we need to just keep in mind that there is the possibility, since he has privately retained counsel, there's the possibility that this counsel could be very good at what they do. Even if they're not, think about it. All their job is to do is to create doubt in the mind of 1 out of 12 people. Now think about that. This entire time that I've been talking about this case and Barry Morphew was a suspect, I've been able to name reasons why there's doubt, and every reason why people thought he was guilty. I could sit here and go, well, that's could just be because of this, or it could just be because of that. Right? So if I can do that, then why wouldn't a defense attorney be able to do that? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So if it happens, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's funny. Like, everybody's like, but we know he's guilty. Okay. I believe him to be guilty. I'm not even trying to lie. I absolutely, totally believe Barry Morphew to be responsible for this crime now. I believe that law enforcement has had much of a reason to think it's him and have collected enough evidence to where they think they can convict him. I believe this. I do at this point. But the fact is it is circumstantial. As far as what we know so far, what they have is circumstantial. And I don't think it's responsible to underestimate a private defense attorney whose job it is to simply create doubt in one juror's mind. So we'll see. We'll see. But people are like, but we know he's guilty. Blair, we know he's guilty. You know he's guilty. Okay, fair enough. I also knew OJ was guilty. I also knew Casey Anthony was guilty. I still know OJ's guilty. And I still know Casey Anthony's guilty. Let's just hope that this DA that I have all the confidence in the world. I really do. I love her style. I think that she's all business. She doesn't give a shit what people think. She doesn't give a shit about. I think that she's all business. That's the impression I'm getting from her right now. I think that she is. I think that she is not so much a political DA, or maybe is, just knows how to play it really, really well. Maybe. But I didn't like her answer to that question. I didn't like the way that she delivered it, but I also kind of understand where it was coming from. I also kind of feel for her in the sense that she's frustrated. She's probably been asked this question 100 times, and she probably wants to spew out everything that she knows to make everyone understand, dude, this guy's fucking guilty. I know he's guilty. She probably wants to scream that from the top of a mountain because it's that important to her to get justice for Suzanne Morphew and her family. And that's probably the only reason that she answered the way that she did. But I kind of wish that she would have reassured all of us a little bit more, articulately. Is that even a word? It's a word because I just said it and you understood what I meant. Casey Anthony Walking 3, it still makes me live it. Yeah, of course. Pisses us all off. Casey Anthony. Gross. But she's free. She's free. She beat the system. Dude, these high profile cases, except for Scott Peterson. But look at Scott Peterson. He gets to do it all over again. What is it? 17 years later? Right? Dude, Scott Peterson might walk. These high profile cases, yeah. Chauvin's lawyer is appealing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people. I mean, there's a trend here, guys. There's a trend here. If you got money for a private attorney and that private attorney knows how to spin things, because that's what happened, man. And I that's what I was just glad. I remember I was texting with a few people and I just kept saying, I hope that they don't I hope the jury doesn't fall for the defense's smoke and mirrors. And remember, guys, I was telling you about that attorney that comes to my job, and I'm going to have him on at some point. We're going to set something up. I'm going to have him on and get his expertise on all these cases that we're covering. We're going to set something up very soon. But he's a really informative guy, and he was involved in some very high profile cases in the past, civil cases mostly. But he's also a defense attorney, a private defense attorney, so he knows. And this guy was saying that it's sorry, I got distracted by something in chat there. I wonder if she bluffing to get people to talk in exchange for a plea deal. Mainly the nephew. I think he is key witness to find the body. I mean, that's a lot of speculation there. Maybe. Yeah, I was talking about Elliot, this attorney. Yeah, he basically reiterated that all you have to do is just create doubt in that one juror's mind. That's all it takes. Like everything, like no matter what happens here, everybody's like, the prosecution, and cops or blah 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 blah. Dude, the prosecution in a trial is always the underdog. Always the underdog. The prosecution in a trial is always the underdog because the burden of proof is always on the prosecution. The defense doesn't have to prove anything. The defense can just be up there and just the defense's job is just to poke holes in the bullshit that make the prosecution's proof look like bullshit. Right? No, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. The defense does. Dude, really? That doesn't mean anything. That could mean anything. That could mean this, that could mean that, And if they consistently do this, one person in a jury is going to go, yeah. And then they're going to sit in that room, deliberate, and that one juror is going to sit there and be like, nah, man, I don't know about all that, though. You know what I mean? That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Yeah, dude. Guys, Casey Anthony and OJ are, well, OJ's not. The system caught up with OJ, man. And he caught up with himself, man. What do you rob people of your own memorabilia? Like what? I don't even want to get into that. I've been so okay. I'm gonna call this very soon, but for those of you just hanging out, just to hang out, my homies, my people, where I'm gonna tell you, I've been going down this. I'm so late in the game. I've been going down this YouTube rabbit hole of Steven Seagal, right? For some reason, Steven Seagal is like the most hated dude in like Hollywood martial arts, right? And I find that hilarious. Like hearing what people have talked about this guy, and he hasn't been. I mean, he kind of has been. Like, and it's funny that he has been. He's a total has been. But like he dyes his beard and his hair and everything, and he's the most egotistical, insane person on set. And listening to John Leguizamo describe his experience with him is the most hilarious thing in the world. It makes me laugh so hard. And I remember being a kid and thinking, like, this is what's really funny about it for me. My experience is when I was a kid, when I was like a teenager and even, like a late teenager, I loved Steven Seagal. I thought he was the real deal. I was like, as far as movie martial artists go, which I don't know any martial arts, but as far as movie martial arts go, I'm like, Steven Seagal's the real deal. I'm like, Jean-Claude Van Damme, like he can only do a split. And so if he can do a split, well, of course you can do a high kick and blah, 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 blah. Right. But Steven Seagal is like showing these dope moves and blah, blah, blah. But then Steven Seagal, it comes out, this thing called YouTube comes out, right? Where people could just independently create videos and talk about Hollywood rumors and put together, interviews from other, actors or people in the business that have had to deal with Steven Seagal directly. And yeah, dude is bad news, dude. He's really, he's horrible to work with on set. He's banned from Saturday Night Live because he was a terrible host. He's like the worst host in Saturday Night Live history, supposedly. And the episode happened, you know what I mean? But like, it goes to show, like, if you're an SNL fan like I am, it goes to show like how that cast really put up with it. I mean, but they're all interviewed later talking about that. It was like the worst experience of their life working with him that whole week, you know? All right, guys, I'm going to call it. If you're not on Patreon, man, join Patreon, dude. It should be fun. It usually is. I would love to have you. This is kind of what we do here, except I get a little bit deeper with this stuff. So I'm actually cutting this off before I get sloppy. I actually kind of got more sloppy than I actually expected to. But, you know, I still had fun and I love hanging out with you guys, so it was worth it. And yeah, man. Hopefully no matter what happens here, we get justice. It's been a year, guys. It's been a year. And I remember hearing about Suzanne Morphew and immediately thinking about Missy Beavers and being reminded and how no justice came to her, and I was starting to get to the point to where I was feeling that she was just going to disappear and we were never going to hear anything about it again. No leads, nothing, no arrests. And I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I'm extremely disappointed. Everybody's celebrating today. Everybody's going, yeah, man, this is a good day. This is a good day. How is it a good day when we find out that the person responsible for the disappearance and death of someone that we were praying and hoping that they would come home safely? How is it a good day when we find out that it was her own husband that did it? How is that a good day? Is it one step closer to justice? Sure. But is it a good day when you were right about something that I don't want to be right about? That's why I'm not quick to automatically assume that it's the husband in situations like this. So, no. I mean, yeah, is it a step closer to justice? Sure. Okay, great. But at the end of the day, a woman was killed by her own husband, someone that was supposed to love her and protect her. Someone that two well-adjusted, well-raised young women depend on for guidance for the rest of their lives turned out to kill their own mother. Now, that's not proven in a court of law yet, but come on. They're still going to have to cope with this possibility. So I mean, no. I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's a good day. It's not a good day. It's not. What I hoped this entire time was not the case. Turns out, in my opinion now, my opinion changed today that it is the case. And I'm upset about it. Save Robbie wants to come on. Chat. Cherry K, watch that shit. All right. So we're going to shift the mood back to funny for a minute because Save Robbie wants a link. Because Save Robbie's a panel whore lately. And I'm a little jealous. But now he's redeeming himself because he's going to come on my panel. Come on my panel, Robbie. And I feel bad. Robbie's sober, and I'm over here fucking getting sloshed, which I never do on anything other than Patreon streams. Oh, there he is. What's up, Robbie?
Hi, I'd like to speak to the manager, please.
Speaking.
Hi, I don't appreciate, I was trolling your chat maybe about, I want to say like an hour and a half ago.
I have an explanation for that. Hold on. I was just ignoring you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was relentless and I didn't get any attention whatsoever. And I really want to file a complaint. And I am a letter writer, just so you know. I will be writing a formal letter.
You're a letter writer?
Is
that an official title?
Well, that's the title that I was given by the Karen Club.
The Karen Club.
Yes.
I'm a member.
Well, I mean, clearly, look at that outfit. That's a Karen outfit if I've ever seen one. I mean, Jesus. Let me guess, Kohl's or Ross?
Oh, please, man, you're talking way out of my league. That's good. That's high end stuff.
Are you a coupon cutter?
No.
Me neither. What the fuck?
No,
Do you know
I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy to cut coupons, and I'm too poor to shop good.
I go to the hand-me-down stores to get clothes, or I just order them on eBay. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. You feel me?
I feel you, dude.
Yeah. But did you know that there's digital coupons now that you just download to your phone? Why do we still get all those coupons in the mail from the grocery stores then?
I don't get those coupons in the mail.
Why? Here, I have a question for you, sir.
I don't give out my address.
Why? You know how
Ever.
there's still junk mail? Why do they send out junk mail if they're concerned about the planet, sir?
Well, because they're not concerned about the planet, sir.
That's ma'am to you. I'm transitioning this year.
Are you?
Yes.
You just give me a memo so that I can keep up, and I'll stay on top of it. I promise.
Yeah, you want to know why I made the decision? Because I was tucking for a while, and I was looking in the mirror. I was like, you know what? That looks pretty cool. So I decided to end it all, chop it off.
Dude, if you become a woman, we got a chance. We got a chance. I'm just letting you know.
But I'm hairy, remember?
Dude, but if you become a woman, I figure that'll all get, I don't know. What do you do? Laser it off or nair it off? What do you do? How does that work?
You could wax it for me if you want to.
I'd rather not. But
you know how people have those shading fetishes?
The end result, we can talk. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying anything, but the conversation's on the table is all I'm saying. Once the hair's gone, the conversation's on the table.
What do you think I'd look like as a woman? Like what celebrity? Well, I think maybe I could pull up.
Good question, man, because I hadn't even thought about it, because you might just make an ugly motherfucking woman.
I bet I would. Hold on. I'd be like a Gretchen Wieners. That's what I would look like.
Gretchen Wieners. That doesn't sound appealing at all.
That's the girl from Mean Girls that says, maybe we should just totally stab Caesar. The one that says, that's so fetch. I think I would pull off the Gretchen wheel. I think you would be a Regina George.
Robbie, I gotta piss out some oak leaf real quick. I'm gonna leave you. You're gonna be in charge of my entire channel right now. I'm leaving it in your hands.
Okay, well, I'm driving home, so I'm just gonna wing it. Hold on. Oh, see, and he just ditched me. Hold on. I'm gonna have to wait till I get to a stoplight because I'm a safe individual. I practice safe sexual activity. And I also practice sexual activity while I'm driving. And I make sure that I wear my seatbelt while I'm driving and doing that sexual activity. And sometimes I wear a condom. Thanks for the link, by the way, Lokame. Okay, hold on. I'm almost to my parking space. So while I'm doing that, let me tell you, I just ventured out into the world. And there is a donut shop named Winchell's here in Denver, Colorado. Now, this is a 24-hour donut shop, okay? There is a man that works there that looks like Aladdin, like the real life form of Aladdin. He's got big brown eyes, muscles, and veiny arms, and he's a hot baker, and he's usually sweating when I go in there. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go in and get me a 6-pack, and hopefully he's baking them on his hot 6-pack. And I walked in, sure as shit, guess who was working the counter? Hot Aladdin baker boy. Man. Oh, God, that's a man. I was on a phone call with Nicole and thank you, Lokame, with Nicole and Caitlin, and I was like, you guys got to see him. So I turned on my camera and I reversed it. And what I did was I pretended to be showing my friends donuts to I was like, hey, I'm on the phone. Sorry. I told the baker guy, I said, oh, just so you know, I'm on the phone. They're helping me, pick out donuts. But really, I was pointing the camera towards his big old muscles. He really is worth it, though. So, yeah, 24-hour donut shops, Alexis. Winchell's, it's like the best donuts ever. Donut holes. Let me tell you something. I dipped that in frosting for sure. Wow. Oh, you don't have 24-hour donut shops? I bet where you live, they have super healthy donuts with coconuts on them and stuff. Lokame. I got the super unhealthy ones. I had a sweet tooth. And really, I mean, to be honest, what motivated me to get to that donut shop was that man. I mean, just because he's so motivating. But he makes you feel like crap because he's in shape and you're buying donuts. So it just sucks.
But he's selling the donuts?
Oh, he's running that whole shop. He's he's in there by himself at nighttime in the night, and he's just sitting there sweating, baking donuts by himself. It's like a porno. It is like a porno.
Okay, so Robbie, now that I've got you on here, I want to address something publicly.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought about it. And I want to be there for that meet and greet.
Oh, really? Because we will help you get there, I swear.
That's the issue, is I can't afford it in such a short period of time. But I want to be there for that. I thought about it, and I was like, if I'm ever going to meet and greet anybody, it's going to be Save Robbie, Mexi, that crowd, and Annie. But Annie's in LA. So
yeah, but see, now we're gonna have to change. Now it's gonna be like a meet and greet with your name on it because people are gonna want to come to meet you as well.
I feel safe around you guys. So
yeah.
I'd be down. I think it would be super, super fun.
And Mexi's always packing, and I'm gonna bring a knife. Because you never know who's
but it's you with the knife that scares me, dude. Every time I'm always I'm monitoring your channel. I'm like, dude, can you put the knife down, bro? You got to stop with the knife, please.
You know what's funny is that knife actually was just in my room one time, and I was like, why is this knife in here? And I just never brought it back to the kitchen ever.
It just became a prop. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
So. Well, that's awesome news. I'm actually grabbing my mail, so I'm gonna have to go in a minute because I got a package I'm gonna have to carry.
And I'm supposed to go live with Mexi tomorrow and talk
Ooh.
about Suzanne Morphew, but I'm I'm gonna have to like figure out a way to, because yeah, like I'm actually supposed to be working and I didn't realize it when I agreed to do it.
Well, you know what? That's actually okay because
but I really want to do it, and so like I'm gonna try to work something out where, you know, because my work schedule's up in the air too, because somebody like can't be there, and I don't know if I'm supposed to close or I'm not supposed to close. But if it turns out I'm supposed to close, it's not going to work out. If it turns out that I work my original shift, then I could probably take a break and just kind of call in using like earbuds and not do it all cool like this. But you know, I mean, whatever. But I really want to be there for that because I've been actually dying to talk to Mexi about the Suzanne Morphew thing. So
can you give me before I go, can you give me a quick update on that? What?
Well, Suzanne Morphew went missing a year ago. She was reported missing on Mother's Day, so almost exactly a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually just turned 50. Her 50th birthday just passed. And she went missing a year ago, and she everyone thought that it was the husband, except me. I didn't not think it was the husband, but I wasn't quick to rush to judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And he is now under arrest as of today. He was placed under arrest. And so that's a big development.
Wow. But
Yeah.
they haven't said what they have on him yet?
Oh no, he's charged with first-degree murder.
Ooh.
This is an interesting case because we don't have any details other than these charges. But he's charged with first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, which we assume has got to be the body.
Mm-hmm.
And influencing a public official. So it sounds like he tried to bribe somebody. Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's an interesting case. It's a very interesting case.
That's crazy. Did you hear about the cult this morning that I was talking about? There's a cult here in Colorado. 7 people just got arrested because their cult leader, I don't know if they killed her or she died, but they called her Mother God. They wrapped her in Christmas lights and mummified her body and put her inside someone's house and put Christmas lights on her.
That's a real thing?
That just happened in Colorado, yeah.
Fuck, dude. What is going on with your state? I'm sitting here and I just like professed that I am willingly going to go there.
You want to know what else just happened?
He's wrong with me.
You want to know?
And you're wielding around a knife. This is going to be bad, people. There's going to be a whole Netflix documentary on the meet and greet that took place from the true crime community in Colorado.
Will, there also was a woman the other day that went out. This was yesterday, I think, or the day before. She went out to walk her dogs and got attacked and killed by a bear. Even our bears are going crazy.
I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, a bear's a bear. A bear's a bear, dude.
Oh yeah, like I'm walking right now. I'm carrying my stuff in the back, and there's usually a big coyote that walks back here up to my house because this is a huge field back here and a big creek. Usually I run into Mr. Coyote and Mr.
See,
Owl.
I can't tell if Cherry Kay's trolling me right now. If she's saying please go, Will, because she wants me to get mauled by a bear, or if she wants like good content to take place, you know, where we're just all streaming and it's gonna be like magical.
It is gonna be fun. And
it would be magical, dude. It really would. Dude, I can't wait. Like, and you know what? I really want to meet Molly Golightly in person. I really do. Because like it's funny, like she's grown on me, actually. Mm-hmm. She's grown on me. Like it used to be that like her voice would just be like, oh, you know, but I think it was because I think what grew on me was her conversations with you.
Oh.
Because No, honestly, I swear to God, because I realized that normally when I listen to her, she's yelling and screaming back and forth with somebody. And I'm just like, I can't with that. It's too loud. Stop. And so I don't listen to it. But when she's with you, you guys are having these really cool conversations. And I'm like, oh, she's a nice, pleasant lady, man. I like, you know what I mean? Like, I could, you know, I could hang out with her. Sure.
She's really down to earth. I mean, even if we're just on the phone on a video call, she'll literally set the phone down right in front of the toilet and squat in front of me. I'm like, hello.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all, man. And that's not to say anything negative about her. I mean, like, yeah, that's a comfort that you have with somebody that you consider a true friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Like she'll either be like really dressed up or she'll just go on stream. She doesn't care what she looks like either.
Yeah. No. Yeah. She just does what she does. She just does what she does.
Yeah.
I don't, ever since I had a falling out with one creator, which was my own fault actually, but I kind of stayed away from that side of things.
What, Will, do you want to see who's up? Oh wait, hold on, I'm in my uniform. I can't show.
Is it Carol?
Yes. I just got home and I turned on the light and look who's playing around. Oh, hang on.
Your camera's out.
I know. Hang on a second.
Get it together, man. We're all trying to see Carol here.
See, she ran into her cave. Carol, hang on.
She's like, yeah, I'm not trying to have 85 people looking at me.
Oh, come here. Can you see her in there? I think the light scares her when I first turn the light on.
You can see her.
She's
peeking out. Yeah, she's peeking out. You can see her.
She's very friendly. She's a lot different than Sandra was. And she doesn't bite. But anyways, I will be filing my official complaint, just so you know. Next time I try to troll your chat, you don't ignore me.
I mean, dude, I didn't even have the screen up.
And you know
I didn't
crazy?
like. I couldn't even see the chat. I was reading. You didn't hear me reading.
I
what
did.
Do you think? You think I got two brains, dude? Like I was reading. I'm not reading that and then reading you trolling my chat.
That was the hardest I've ever trolled you. I was like going nonstop and not. And then I started putting in capitals. I was like, pay attention to me. So you're gonna have to go back and read.
Hey, I'm serious though, man. I want to do this. I mean, I figure you got just under 2 months.
Yeah. So
right?
how do I start a GoFundMe for that? I'm gonna start one. How do you do that?
Oh man, I feel so weird about GoFundMes though.
Will, shut your mouth. I'm gonna do it, and you just shut your mouth. Because you have to be there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
but
like,
listen, if you start a GoFundMe for this, that means you're buying the ticket, you're booking the ticket. I don't want any access to this GoFundMe. I'm telling you right now. I want to be clear about that.
I'll have Mexi help me because he's smart with that kind of stuff.
I don't fuck with GoFundMes, dude. So if you start a GoFundMe for me, I want nothing to do with it other than just go into my phone and going, oh, look, I got a ticket. And I'm going.
Well, as a community, we can come together and they can help me figure it out because I've never done a GoFundMe before, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Cherry K knows, dude. Cherry K knows.
Ooh, Lokame says, how about a fundraiser live? But that would be super chats, though, right?
I mean, yeah, I know. And God knows when you collect those. I still don't know.
Wait, why haven't you collected yours yet?
Well, what's funny is, okay, this is the story of my monetization real quick in Cliff Notes. Mm-hmm. I hit 1,000 subscribers when I first started my channel. I hit 1,000 subscribers and then I monetized myself. And then when that happened, I sent out for my PIN number. And when that happened, COVID hit.
Oh,
and so there was nobody working the PIN number thing at the time. and my shit just got confused, and I sent out for it at least 6 times, right?
Mhm.
So in a span of almost 2 years,
Ugh.
right? Where I
Yeah.
kept sending out. But there was a brief period of time where I was actually monetized, even though I didn't have a PIN number. They just cut my monetization because I failed to enter my PIN number, which they failed to send me. And so it was like I sent out for it a bunch of times, and then but before they cut the monetization off, I had built up like a certain amount of money in there, and then as soon as they actually finally sent my PIN number and I entered it in, then that money went into my account.
Oh.
But the money that I built up since then, I have not seen yet. But
Oh,
it
that
may not have
sucks.
even been a month, so I don't even know. I could look up AdSense right now and find out. I don't know. But I don't even know how to really look at it.
You just go to AdSense, like Google, and then hit log in, and it should.
Well, no, yeah. I know how to do all that, but I
Oh.
just let's see. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now.
And by the way, who the hell is? Did somebody in the
it-
chat send me this?
It doesn't give any dates. It doesn't say when the next payment should be coming.
Someone just
doesn't-
mailed me this mug that says "Still sober, bitches," and I have no idea who mailed it to me. Is it somebody in here?
I hope not. Nobody better be disrespecting Robbie in my chat. I tell you
No. It's a good thing. It's a sober mug that I just got in a physical mail, but I don't know
Oh,
who mailed
wow.
it to me.
That's dope. Right
Yeah.
on, man.
Thank you, whoever it is. I don't know who it is.
That's great. That's great.
I need to get a PO box so people don't like send me glitter bombs and shit. Although that would be kind of fun to get a glitter bomb.
Ellie Brabs, I didn't even know that AdSense had an app.
Oh, I didn't either. Someone, because there's got to be a way if you can't, because I don't remember getting a pin. I don't remember how I set mine up, to be honest. It's been a while. Ooh, honeydew melon, Steve. Like actual honeydew melon? Yeah, I don't know who sent it, Julie, but thank you. Maybe Nicole sent it to me. She randomly mails me stuff. And no, not Nicole Kessinger. I know Will wants to get his hands on my Nicole Kessinger mug.
Dude, when you sent me that, I was like, dude, fuck, I want one so bad. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, man. Like I'm so weird about that. Dude, I'm so weird about like I remember. So I'm gonna confess something on here because I'm a little drunk.
You're a lesbian.
No, yeah, but no. So like Annie from 10 to Life has had Mike King from Profiling Evil, who actually has played a big part in the Suzanne Morphew investigation because he's a profiler. And he's really informative. He's a great guy. And so he wrote a book. Mike King wrote a book, and Annie was telling me, "Hey, I'll send it to you. It's an amazing book. You got to read it. I'll send it to you." And then I gave her all these excuses as to why I don't want the book. and the truth is that I just don't want to give out my physical address.
Well, there's nothing
That's
wrong
all
with
it
that.
is. That's all it is. And I feel like, yeah. And there's certain people on here that I'm just like, man, I don't, like I feel weird saying I don't want to give out my physical address to, because I've developed a certain trust. And so like not even trusting Annie is, but it's like, the thing is I live with other people and I don't want to betray their trust. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
It's not my call. It's not my call to like make that decision and put their living situation in my trust like that. You know what I mean?
But even
Does that
if
make
you lived
sense?
by yourself, it'd still be reasonable because you just simply
If
don't
I
want to
lived
give
by
out.
myself, I probably wouldn't care. Honestly, if I lived by myself, I probably wouldn't care. And then everybody's telling me to get a PO box, but if I get a PO box, it's going to be close
It's
to
not-
where I live. You know what I mean? Like I overthink everything.
You're
I
gonna have
overthink
women
everything.
lining up at the door with men.
No, I mean, it's not that. Man, you know, like I've had people like seriously dox me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You know, I don't want to. I mean, and that's the thing is the stuff that I say, I stand by what I say, and I believe in everything that I say strongly, very strongly.
Oh, I don't believe
And
in anything that you say, but keep going.
but I believe in these things, and to the point to where like I realize that I'm putting myself at risk if I say these things. So I may offend somebody to the point to where they're gonna like be upset, and you know, and they might act irrationally, you know, and I might be the subject of their reaction, you know, but I can't live with people that I care about having to deal with my actions, and you know what I mean, the repercussions of my mouth and the shit that comes out of it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but you didn't even have to explain. You know, you could have just said, you know, you didn't like the book or you didn't want it or whatever. You didn't even have to tell people. You don't even have to tell people like, look, I don't want to give you my address. You could give them excuses and.
Well, that's what I did.
Okay.
That's what I did. I'm just confessing now that it's because of that. That's what I'm saying. I'm confessing now that it's just because I just didn't want to give out my address. You know what I mean? Like,
well, there's nothing wrong with that, though. But and see,
I
if you're
know,
gonna get a
but
PO box, if you're gonna get a PO
you're
box, it
also
has to be
kind of
worth
sending
it.
the message like I don't trust you enough. You know what I mean? And there's certain people that I've known on here that I'm just like, man, I feel shitty.
Well,
Not trusting them enough. You know what I mean?
But I think we both know that it kind of doesn't matter how long you know people, you still can't really trust anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've really misjudged people sometimes on here, you know, a couple times I've misjudged people and been like, fuck, holy shit, what did I do? You know? And I don't want to put myself in that position again. And I damn sure don't want to put people I care about in that position. You know, that's unfair.
By the way, there's a, you know, the person that faked their, you know what? There's an account by that name, and they commented on one of my videos like a couple days ago. And I was like, I don't think that's the real one. I mean, I wouldn't think it is, but there is somebody going around using that name on YouTube.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You're gonna get trolls. I mean, like, Save Robbie. Let's be honest. Like, the videos that were made about us are pretty fucking epic. They're great,
dude. Whoever's
great.
making those compilation videos, please do more of me. They are amazing.
They're so fun. They're so fun because dude, I mean, how great is it? How great is it when people like who support you see them and then they go, like, the idea is to make them go, oh my God, I had no idea that person was like that. Motherfucker, they've been looking at me this whole time. They've been, all you did was just put together shit that they love.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, yeah. And not only that, but that must have taken a lot of time. Because even if I go back and take a clip off of one of my videos, like if I think there's a funny part and I want to just clip that part and put it on my channel, even that takes work. But if you think about it, so, I mean, that channel doesn't seem very mean, but even the mean ones, really all they're doing is kind of advertising you, but they're also advertising their obsession for you.
Yeah, and the mean ones, you know, for me, some of them hurt. I'm not gonna lie, some of them hurt because they come from people that I really at once like really trusted, and I'm just like, oh man, that kind of stings a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, you know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I know me. I know who I am. I know that I've stayed true to who I am, and just because you perceive it a different way, I got a whole lot of other people that see it differently, and I saw it differently, and and I honestly expect that was the thing, is when these things go on my chat, I can really count on my listeners to be like, hey man, you're fucking wrong, dude. And I may react shitty, but I listen to it, and I pay attention, and then I make changes appropriate, as best as I can anyway. You know what I mean? I try to listen as best as I can, and then I make the appropriate changes when I can, because my listeners mean that much to me. And when it comes from, when these things come from people that I thought believed in me, and I believed in it's like, shit, man, like we had each other all wrong this whole time. That's what really stings, is that realization, is being like, man, we had each other all wrong this whole time, dude. Like we were homies and we had each other all wrong this whole time. That's a bummer, dude. It's but
Well, it just goes to show we don't know everybody's mentality or how they react when they're angry, and what's really scary about it is the ones that we can't see, the ones that are just a name, or it's scary because it could be anybody. It can be Hillary Clinton, or it could be anyone.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But we got to get your GoFund will going. And by the way, I did not join your Patreon earlier. I was trolling you, and they said Robbie's here or something, and I had to go. And you're like, "Oh,
dude, I'm not joining
like,
your Patreon, dude. I'm not joining anybody's Patreon. I'm like, that's why I'm weird about even having a Patreon or memberships. I'm like, dude, listen, I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna do with memberships. First of all, I just have them there. If you want to support the channel and commit to it, great.
Yeah, but
right
they
on.
tried to tell you that I was trolling you, and you didn't even listen to them. You said, "Oh, Robbie joined my Patreon." Good. I was like, he's not even listening to them.
I mean, if you did, thanks. If you didn't, I don't care.
Well, now I'll just join it just to piss you off.
I mean, it's not going to piss me off. I'm going to be like, hey, Robbie's here, because the Patreons are fun. But the Patreons, man, like, yeah, I drink consistently in the Patreons, man, and it's not going to, and dude,
Is the hoity-goity a part of Patreon?
The hoity-goity is not a part of Patreon. The hoity-goity is not something anybody gets to experience in the YouTube world. It doesn't happen. YouTube world doesn't get to experience the hoity-goity.
See, there you can't put
Nobody
a dollar
in it.
sign next to the hoity-goity. There's no dollars. There's no amount.
Yeah, but
look, see,
yeah.
Phantasmagorical said he never listens to us. You know what, Phantasmagorical, you try trolling him for 20 minutes and see how it feels.
Dude, yeah, try trolling the troll, dude. Like, come on. Good luck.
I mean,
good luck.
Every time I come in and try to troll you, I put all of my effort into it, all of it, and you just look right over it.
Yeah, you think I'm going to be as successful of a troll as I am without knowing my targets?
Yeah, it's
you guys aren't going to get me with trolling. That's not going to happen. Stop it.
See, and like,
don't do that to yourselves.
I'll try to get you to look by putting I'll put all like capital letters, and I'll say the craziest stuff to see if you'll crack like at least a little laugh or smile, and nothing. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Listen, if you want to troll somebody, troll Johnny Depp, because he doesn't have the brains. He doesn't have the know-how. He doesn't. I mean, the fact that he had this beautiful woman slip through his fingers, his severed fingers. That's his own fault, by the way. The fact that happened, that should tell you everything you need to know about this half-assed musician.
Oh, he's a musician?
No, he's not.
Oh,
They
What?
think he is, but he's not.
so wait, are you team? So you're not team Johnny Depp?
Listen, I'm team Johnny Depp screwed up a good thing with Amber Heard.
Oh, okay.
That's team Will, okay?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I don't know anything about the whole Johnny Depp thing. All I know is that Amber Heard said he hit her or something like that. That's all I know.
Look at my
Did-
chat. Look at my
did-
chat right now.
What? I done told you, fuck you. What the hell's going on here? See, Lokame
I'm
had
trolling.
my back.
I'm trolling my own chat. Is what I'm doing.
Oh, I can't see you.
Look
How
at.
come I can't?
I mean, just look at the chat.
Wait a minute. You're
Okay, it's too much oak leaf.
Knew it
It's
was
past
going-
3 hours. I gotta call this before it gets ugly.
Oh, shut your filthy whorish mouth. I'm going to get in the shower because I feel filthy after this conversation.
You should feel filthy.
It just feels gross,
you
you
filthy
know?
son of a.
I feel like by you having me up here, I feel vulnerable now. And I just don't feel I lost all my confidence as a female.
Well, I mean, dude,
Why do you have to attack all the men that think they're women in this community?
I'm not attacking anybody. Listen, if you're a man that thinks you're a woman, then you're more man than I am.
Oh shit. Ooh, Nikki Rex has a crush on Johnny. All right, well, I'm gonna go stream from the shower. If anybody wants to join me, I will be on OnlyFans. We'll take it from there.
Ew.
Okay. No, I'm
All
just
right,
kidding.
Robbie.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.
I love you, brother.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
How do I get out of this fucking mess?
Dude, I'm gonna just kick you out. There we go. Nah, he let himself out. Okay, guys. All right, I got a solid buzz and I'm tired and I'm gonna listen to some music. Probably pass out and piss myself. Just kidding. But dude, save Robbie, man. Save Robbie's just the greatest in the world. I love that dude. Yeah. I mean, dude, Danny B, that's the thing. You're saying he should be a comedian. Robbie is a comedian, dude. He is. He's doing shit on his own terms, man. Robbie's kicking ass. Robbie's an entertainer, man. I'm a Save Robbie fan. So, all right, guys. I love you guys very, very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.